Everybody, it's Safi and Marco, and it's Halloween month! Yay! And we are reviewing Halloween 1, the very first Halloween movie, which basically every year I usually watch it like on Halloween or the night before Halloween. It's almost a tradition.
What about the night he came home?
And well, anyway, it's amazing when you watch something that you're going to review how you catch things that you never have caught before. And I have seen this so many times. I saw it when it first came out. Anyway.
Were you looking at your phone in the theater when you watched it, Safi?
I don't think so because there were no cell phones then.
Yeah, you found a way to bring one in and look at it while you watched it.
Not unless they had been invented yet, which if they were, they weren't in the United States, they were in Europe.
Maybe you brought in some phone and you just stared at the thing the whole movie and you're like playing around with it or something.
Well, anyway, we decided we are going to review what, Marco? Every Halloween movie that's ever been made?
Yeah, we're going to review the whole Halloween series in preparation for the piece of shit Halloween Kills, the sequel to the piece of shit Halloween 2018.
The problem with this movie, not this particular movie, but the franchise, I think, is just my opinion. They've made too many. It's over and done.
No, they just keep on taking these weird directions that don't make any sense at all for the series. And really, I think it's because of all the fanboys. Because the series was originally supposed to be an anthology series. The first two movies was the story of Michael Myers. The third movie is a different story. And then from then on, they'd have other different stories that all take place on Halloween. But then all the fanboys complained that Michael Myers wasn't in it, so they made 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And so really, it's because of the fanboys. That, like, they complain about everything. They have to have everything a certain way. And basically what it boils down to is that everyone wants the first movie over and over and over again. And so we're going to take a look at the first movie. The movie that all these fanboys worship, say it's the greatest movie of all time. We're going to look at that and really see, like, you know, is it something that should be replicated for 50 million times?
Well, whatever. We can't really do any of that now until we watch every one. Because I have actually only seen a few of them.
I've seen all of them.
Well, I have only seen very few.
Unfortunately.
And this one, of course, I've seen my whole life, practically. And,
just to let you guys know how much of a true fan I am, I've seen every Halloween movie twice or more, except for Halloween 2018.
Okay, well, the thing that's the most iconic about this movie and all the other ones that follow, if they do have it, will be the music. People listen to the music, they may never have seen the movie, and they know where it's from. And that is amazing. And it just is iconic, the whole thing. Michael Myers, you have shirts and merchandise of every kind that people want to wear. And I've sold on my store, I've sold Michael Myers shirts and with the mask and everything. And the problem, the reason why I say I think they need to stop making him, because he's been killed about 50,000 different ways. And if he's from outer space and he's really an alien or something, can't be killed, well, why don't you just say so?
Well,
because they don't. They just keep trying to kill him over and over. And
well, the problem also is that he's not a real character. I mean, he never speaks. He never has any development as a character. He just keeps doing the same things over and over and over again. And the thing that they should do is just give him character development and then kill him and then end it. Because then you can finally say that Michael Myers was an actual character. Because he's literally not a character. If you look at the traits of character, he's a flat character.
Well, thing I like, okay, well, we're going to just start reviewing this movie because we're going to watch the second one today and review it as well.
And not flat like Jamie Lee Curtis, but flat like as in character wise.
Oh, brother, I can't believe you would say that. Anyway,
I was just kidding about that.
he's kidding around, so I don't, if anybody wants to get mad, please don't, because he's kidding around, but I don't like it either, and I'm telling him so.
It's called
No.
Trick or Treat, Safi.
It's called Trick or Treat humor, okay, raw humor that you don't need to say anymore. Okay, now, I guess because I've seen this so many times, and I looked at it very critically, even though I am working on my listings, which are crap.
She kind of paid attention to her phone more than the movie.
I didn't have to have seen the movie multiple times, but I did. I was very shocked at the end, but I'm not going to say yet why. And I know everybody knows how it ends. It just keeps going and going like the Energizer Bunny, like they used to say with the commercials. But anyway, the criticisms I had, I just wrote down a couple, is at the very, very beginning, it's pouring rain. You have, well, not the very beginning, but after, when he's been committed to the mental institution, he's been there for 1,000,000 years. The doctor and a nurse, they drive to the mental institution. And what are they going to do? They're going to take him somewhere?
They're going to transfer him.
Okay, that's what I thought. And it's pouring out.
Which, here's the thing, Safi. Wouldn't it have been cool to see him ride in the back seat of the car?
Well, that's what I thought was going to happen, because I didn't remember exactly.
That would have been cool.
Like I said,
that would have been a great scene.
I just watched it for entertainment. I usually been scooping out a pumpkin and separating the seeds so we can bake the seeds in the oven, because we like to eat that. And pumpkin seeds, it's really, really good. And if anybody has a good recipe for that, by the way, let me know, because we've had
pumpkin seeds.
Yeah, we've had mixed results with
well,
trying to bake them and put the salt on them.
You pour cocaine all over them.
Marco, what are you doing?
And then you can call them snowballs.
Marco is trying to be humorous, and it isn't funny. Okay, well, anyway, you see, when they're coming really close to the gate to the mental institution, and they see patients running all around in the pouring rain, which was really weird, and like, what's going on? So the doctor gets out, and the nurse sits in the car. Well, she has the window open. It's pouring rain. Why would you do that? She's the one driving, right? Or was he driving? She was driving.
She was driving.
Yeah,
Safi.
that's what I thought. And she has.
See everybody.
We go to get fast food at Wendy's. It's pouring out, and so I've got to order. And I'm sitting here trying to in my car ordering, and getting wet because water's getting in the car. Now, why would she have the window open waiting for the doctor? Why wouldn't she have it closed?
I couldn't really
at the
tell.
minimum.
I couldn't really tell what was going on because it was so dark. Like, it seemed like either she rolled it down or she was having trouble rolling it back up. Either way, the window was open.
And to me, that's dumb. And then the other thing is, as you go into the movie, the blood looked like glue.
Yeah, the blood really looked bad in this movie.
Anybody who got
it looked fake.
A cut of any kind, anybody, by anyone, the blood didn't. It looked like it was peel and stick.
In fact, it would be really interesting to do a video where we rank the look of the.
No.
No, I am being serious about that because. The blood, I will say too, if you want to compare the remake's blood looks better, in my opinion, but I would say that the blood, it's tough to say when the blood in the series looked best, though.
Okay, well, I know one thing we could do is everyone we keep track of. The first one, the doctor actually shoots him multiple times. Multiple. Probably 3, 4.
6 times.
And so let's say all the times they thought he was dead, or he should have been dead, and because they did something. And so we should say, okay, he survived being shot, in the
Well,
chest.
they've done that before. There's actually an animated series where they take a look at horror franchises and they show how he'll look in each movie, and then they'll show like what happens to him in each movie,
Okay,
and
well,
it's like an evolution through all the movies.
I'll let Marco continue, and then at the end, I'll say what my biggest shock
Are you
and
sure?
surprise is. Yeah, go ahead, Marco.
Well, I would say that this movie is still good. I was expecting to not like it as much as I did, just because, like, really, the thing about this movie is that the music really elevates the bad moviness of it. Like, the music really takes over for when the movie sort of goes on autopilot. Because I would say there's three things about this movie that are good. Number one, the music. The music can't be contested because what they did was they showed this movie without the music to people, and people hated it and said it was a piece of trash. And so that should tell you all you need to know about Halloween fanboys. Is just show this movie to them without the music, and let's see if they'll still be praising this movie, calling it a masterpiece. Because I would take my earphones out and see if the movie was really that bad without any sound, and it really wasn't that much different, except for in certain spots where it kind of dragged as a movie. But number two would be the lighting. The movie had perfect lighting. It had a really nice look to it, this like Halloweeny type of look, where it was like orange in the daytime and blue in the nighttime. And I would say that just overall the lighting was just really, really good. And then number three would be, what do you think, Safi?
The clothes.
No way. The camera work. This movie has perfect camera work. The whole movie, just the way that it looks, just the pictures. You can take your earphones out and just look at this movie and still see like a really nice picture of these houses in the dark. And so let's talk about though the characters. I would say that one of the most overrated things about this movie are the characters. And by characters, I mean one character named Laurie Strode. I mean, I'm serious, guys. When I was a kid, I thought that Laurie was a 70-year-old grandmother babysitting.
Oh, come on.
I'm serious because of the hair. The hair has this like weird look that it doesn't have in other films. Like her hair now looks a lot more youthful because it like in this it's so poofy and so like it looks like a 70-year-old woman's hair, and the way that she dresses too, she has this like very old look to her, and it was really weird because as a kid, I'm serious, I thought she was like a 40-year-old going to college or something.
She's
like,
wearing a preppy style. She has on a cardigan sweater with a kind of, and they're all, I'm thinking like it doesn't look cool or cold outside.
Yeah.
But her friend, she's walking down the street with her friend, she's wearing a jacket.
It looks cold at night though. Because of the blue lighting, it looks like
I guess
cold at night.
But so she's wearing a cardigan sweater. It's a little bit heavy. It's not a skinny thin one. She's wearing a thin, like a cowl neck sweater underneath, and then but her skirt is like, it's not a midi skirt, but which means a mid and of the leg of the bottom part of the leg, that's midi. But it goes down, I think, like to her knees or a little bit below, and it's wool. And so and then she's wearing tights, which are like a thick kind sock, white, which is really like a kid, like you'd wear at a I don't know, Catholic school or something where you have to wear a uniform. And so anyway, Marco had a problem with how she was dressed. She was dressed very preppy.
Well, I'm saying as a
and
kid,
really old-fashioned.
as a kid, I legitimately thought she was old as the teachers who taught me in second grade and first grade.
Yeah, but he has to remember that I don't. What's supposed to be the date of the movie? We know when it came out, but what's supposed to be the date of the movie? Isn't there a date?
I think it's 78, like when the movie
Oh, so it
comes
is.
out. I
It is
think.
70. So
I think. I
I
don't
don't
know for
remember
sure.
dressing the preppy way, and I did look it
But
up.
I've
And
seen.
blazers were
Well,
in, but she
I've
was wearing
seen
a cardigan.
I've seen pictures of teenage girls, like in terms of like serial killer victims from the 70s. They don't look like grandmothers like
No,
Lori does in this movie.
no, they're wearing
And here's
yeah.
the thing, though. I don't like her character because her character, that everyone acts like she's this like amazing character, but she's really just like an average person. Like she's babysitting these kids. She's wondering where the curly hair girl is, Annie, and so like she's really just like an average person. And the few times that she does anything, she's kind of like annoying. Like she's screaming like just constantly. And honestly, the situation does warrant some screaming, but it's a little overboard. Like in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you could understand because she was in a house with like what, 4 or 5 killers, and so she had a right to scream all that much, but she just screams way too much. And there's all these times where she like stabs Michael with like a little pin, and then she thinks
No,
that he's
she
dead.
stabbed him with a knitting needle, but it was in the neck. So I don't know why she would think he's dead. And then she also got a coat hanger. She was hiding in the closet and she dismantled the hanger
And then
and
she
she
stabbed
stabbed him with it
in
in
the
the
eye.
eye, I believe.
Yeah.
And
And she thinks he's dead because she stabs him in the eye.
and she tells the kids that he's dead, and they say, well, he's the boogeyman, and the boogeyman doesn't die.
And then she stabs him
and then
like in the chest, I think, and then pulls the knife out. She doesn't even bother to stab him again and again. If I were there, I would stab him like probably 50 times in the chest to
I
make
don't
sure
think
that
so.
he's dead.
I think he'd want to get away.
No, I want to stab him to death because I have his fucking knife.
Okay.
But I'll say this too. I'll say the best thing about the movie, besides all the other stuff I mentioned, well, also I'll say that it's colorful. You know, if you made the same movie nowadays, it wouldn't have any color in it. They'd suck all the color out. So I'll say that even though the movie has a lot of like dark lighting, it's a very colorful movie. And I think that it's funny because, you know, nowadays movies are basically the anti-color. But the best thing is really Dr. Loomis, played by Donald
He
Pleasance.
is, and I feel so bad that he passed away.
Him,
You just can't replace a character like that. I mean, he'll be hard. He'll be hard if they do anything where they have to have him, and it'll be hard to replace him because he was perfect for the part.
it is rumored that they shot a flashback sequence where they recast Dr. Loomis for a scene
Oh,
in Halloween
wonder
Kills.
how they do that with paying
And
the state.
I can't wait to talk about that if that was real.
Oh.
But
Okay,
anyways,
well, we should talk. So, if you don't have anything else,
I do. That's why
okay,
I'm
well,
talking.
keep going.
But Dr. Loomis is really the best character. He is an actual character, and he's perfect. He's A+ performance, and just he is the star of the movie. And if the movie had more of him, it would be even better. And that's why the second one is better, because it has more of him. And then the fourth one has a lot of him, and the fifth one, because he really is the star of the series. I don't think that people realize that because they're so focused on Laurie Strode running around screaming, going, ah! So, but anyways, I still think that this movie is good. I am trying to treat them all like freshly, like I've never seen them before, so that I can sort of like reevaluate the whole series before I watch the new one. So what would you like to say, Safi?
Okay, well, this is very important. I've seen this movie, like I said, 1,000,000 times, probably every year, because it's kind of like at Christmas. Watch certain Christmas movies every year, or you watch Rudolph every year. Well, so because it's just a tradition. We make the pumpkins and play the movie. Anyway, it's too early to do that, but they showed his face. Oh my God! I never noticed it before. It was probably 16 seconds.
They showed
And I was
his.
shocked. It was almost at the very end. They're in the upstairs. Lori's trying to get away from him, and he takes does his mask fall off, or his mask somehow comes off, and they show.
No, they're strangling each other, and she pulls it off. Safi.
Okay.
Did you
Well,
watch
it's just
that
I
part?
was so shocked by seeing his face. I forgot everything around it. It was just like, and then of course, he puts the mask on, looks at Dr. Loomis, goes to the window and stands there, or the window's he's already standing in front of the window. Then Dr. Loomis has his handgun. He shoots him 4 or 5 times, and he drops out the window, lands on the ground. Then they look out there, and he's gone.
The movie sort of deconstructs the idea that he's the boogeyman and he's like a force of nature, because he pulls his mask off and he's human, and then he walks away and he's like in the dark, and it's like, yeah, who cares? Bam, 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 you're dead. And then he falls off the balcony, and then he gets back up, which I thought that was really cool. It just the whole movie. The best part is this last like 15 minutes though, where they're actually in a chase and they're in a confrontation with him. And I'll say this too: there's so many rules that Halloween fanboys think that the series has to stick to, and one of those rules is that he doesn't show his face.
Well, he did. I saw he was a very good-looking guy with brown hair,
Safi,
almost dark hair. Well, I was
shame
shocked.
on you.
I was really shocked. I didn't know what he was going to look like. And, I mean, I didn't know I was going to see what he looked like ever.
They showed his face at the beginning, too. Remember when he jumps on the car for like a split second?
I didn't see that. It was dark.
When she looks in the back seat, in the back window of the car, you could see his face if you, like, paused it, I think. And so they really
this time, you don't have to pause it. It is clear as day.
They show his face quite a bit in this movie. And so I think that it's just a bullshit rule that they came up with, that you can't show his face.
Well, they do, and I was shocked because I don't ever remember seeing this face. So if you ever watch a movie critically and you try to look at every detail, and I'm also doing something too with it. I was checking my listings for eBay, and which I have had slow sales. And so I need to do that and check them and change them and whatever.
I bet
and
you do,
I looked up and I go, oh my God, they showed his face out of the. I mean, I must have watched this 20 plus times, and I'm older, so I've had the opportunity. I've had years to watch the movie. So, and it's a tradition, so I'm sure we have watched it every single year since it came out. So, that's a long, what
Not
is
me.
it? 45 times?
You have.
45, because I got married in 1978. So, anyway, probably the only time that I didn't watch this is when we were in Africa, and I did not have access to any TV except towards the end, and that was things that were on videotape.
I've sort of stopped watching it every year because at a certain
might
point
burn out.
it kind of burns you burn out on it because of, like, here's one of the main issues with the movie is some of the writing with the characters, like the dialogue, because I would say that Annie and the other girl, what's that other girl's name? The other friend? Of course, you don't know because
I
you
don't
don't
know.
really.
I never remember the names.
But
I remember what they looked like. There was a blonde hair girl, and it was very kind of longish hair.
they're
And
more.
then the other girl was dark brown, curly,
what's that?
short.
What's that bitch's name? I can't remember.
She's
at
the
all.
one whose father is a cop.
But no, Annie is the one with the cop father. I know her
Oh,
name.
okay.
But they're both actual, they seem like teenagers. So they seem like teenagers. Lori doesn't. But I'll say that I read that John Carpenter had Deborah Hill, a different person, write the dialogue of the female characters because of some BS about him thinking he doesn't know how females talk. And I think that that actually brings down the movie because the female characters have the most annoying, like, bad dialogue you've ever heard. If she wrote the whole movie, it would be all bad dialogue. And the best dialogue, what do you know? It comes from Dr. Loomis. It comes from Tommy. Because they're the two characters that John Carpenter wrote the dialogue for. And so I would say that the dialogue of the female characters is really bad. Do you agree with that, Safi? Because I know that
Not
that'll be something.
necessarily.
Really?
No. I don't think it's bad. And I don't care.
Safi.
It just really isn't important.
It is because there's a lot. This movie is kind of boring at some points.
Well, it is kind of boring.
Because there's scenes with them talking, and they're annoying because they say such stupid shit.
Okay, well, whatever. I don't know.
And I'll say this, that they talk worse in the remake. So I'm not like saying that they've done it better since. I'm saying that they've always done it badly.
All right, well, I don't know what else to say, but I think the tagline for this review should be, "They showed his face," because
Clap, clap, clap.
I don't remember ever seeing his face. Like I said, anybody knows, merchandise for him has been out forever. Every shirt, every glass, every anything, puzzle, anything that's out never shows his face. They show him because that wouldn't be. Oh, come on!
Yeah,
they show him with his mask on.
There is a very infamous picture where the actor playing Michael Myers, I can't remember which one it was. He has his mask on top of his head, and he's pretending to feed Dr. Pepper to the mask on top of his head. It's a very infamous photograph.
I haven't seen that.
And that is featured on a lot of merchandise.
Okay, well, I haven't seen that, but I've never seen it, so all I've ever seen him is wearing his mask. So if anybody has ever told me that the rule is they don't show his face, they're full of it, and they don't know what they're talking about, because I saw it.
There's a lot of other things they're full of, too.
Well, I'm not going to just go around criticizing everybody.
I am, because they've destroyed this series. And I finally figured out the key to why this series is bad because of the fanboys.
Okay, I don't know.
And they're going to get called out every single review.
All I know is I enjoyed the movie. I love the music. And because, like he said, there was some boring, it just kind of...
It wasn't that boring, though.
No, it wasn't too bad, but it's just, it covers that. They just play, and they did this thing, and I can't, I played violin and guitar and piano and panpipes, and they do this noise, and I can't figure out how they make that noise.
Well,
if anybody knows, please put it in the comments.
He did the soundtrack on the score on a synthesizer. So it's probably some noise.
With the synthesizer.
Yeah, on a synthesizer.
I just want to know because it's perfect, because it really is startling and scary. Just that little noise. I mean, that's the thing about simplicity, because sometimes simplicity in a movie is the best way. And I say that after watching The Addams Family too, where they poured on the
kitchen sink.
They poured everything into it, but the kitchen sink, and really covered it up like what was I saying earlier? They just it was like eating an entire pillowcase full of Halloween candy in one sitting, and where you're just gonna almost throw up at the end, or you do throw up. And I hate to bring that up. It's just the fact that I want to say that the simplicity of just that one noise was enough to make you startled you and make you nervous and scared.
Well, one last thing is that I forgot to mention this, but the kills are trash. I mean, I could go through every kill. They're trash. I mean,
Well,
the
yeah,
first kill with his sister, where he stabs her and then he's staring at his hand as he stabs her. The remix kill of his sister is a lot better, I guess. And then he kills someone off screen, and you see his body with some fake blood on him. The kills in this movie are really bad, and the worst one is when he kills Mr. Glass's guy Bob, and he takes his knife and then he stabs the short little knife into him, and it somehow holds him and stabs through the wall. I mean, that was just fucking ridiculous and completely. But it was it looked cool, so it kind of tricks you into liking it a little bit. But if you really just. The kills are so disappointing. And I'll say that kills are very important to a good horror movie. If you don't have good kills, then that takes off a star. So what would you rate this movie in terms of food, Safi? Because that's what we do on this channel. We rate movies in terms of food. Would you like me to go first? So that
sure, go ahead.
Well, there was a lunch that I had at school sometimes. It's a very American type of lunch, and I would get they had a cheeseburger that was wrapped in this wrapping paper, and you would pick out the cheeseburger and put it on your tray, and then you get a chocolate milk and some fries and some ketchup, and and maybe a dessert if you wanted to pay 50 cents extra, and then you'd eat that for lunch. That's this movie. It's a very simplistic sort of staple of American cinema. It's a good lunch, it's a good movie, and it's very simple. Simply good. So, Safi?
Okay, well, I'll do this. I have been ordering at Taco Bell for most of when my other son was in school. I got this the Taco Supreme. Just one Taco Supreme, that's all I eat. Well, then Marco has been growing up, and they just had this recently, like in the last year or two, is the pizza, the Mexican pizza.
The Mexican pizza's always been there.
I love that. I loved it. They took it off the menu, but very sad.
Yeah.
But it's like besides maybe eating one of those tacos, that's all I eat there, and it was perfect, and that I like that. And you've got the bottoms of it, the base of it. It's kind of like the music. The music supports and uplifts the movie, like Marco actually said at the beginning too. He thought that as well, and the music is very iconic. The soundtrack is iconic and really good, and so. That's why I say the Mexican pizza they used to have at Taco Bell, and why they took it off is a travesty. Because I'm going to have to learn to make it so I can have it at home.
They've taken off a bunch of items that people like.
Well, this one is what this movie reminds me of, and I'm very sad they took it off, and I'm sad that Dr. Loomis no longer is living. I've done so much
rude.
Genealogy, and all the people I'm researching are all dead.
You mean
and it's
Donald
just that's what it
Pleasance?
reminds me of. All these movies, all your the people don't last forever. It's just like in Twin Peaks, where guy says he's going to make another one. Well, when they're all dead, because they're all dying off. People get old. People get sick. People get in an accident. Look at the guy on Star Trek. He was a Star Trek, yeah.
Anton Yelchin.
Anton, who he got killed. It was a terrible accident, but he's dead now. And you just can't, you live today and you hope you live tomorrow. But I mean, when you get older, you're really taking chances. You're gambling. And there was nothing to do. This guy was older, and I don't know how he died, but I think it's like natural
They'll
causes.
still be making Halloween movies when Jamie Lee Curtis is in the nursing home in bed all day.
Well, Marco, that's really crappy.
They will.
But anyway, that's what my review is, and that's what Marco's review, and we need to
You'll
move
see.
on now.
When she's 78 years old, they will make a movie called Halloween 78, and it will be all about her in the nursing home.
Okay, well, let me tell you that Jamie Lee Curtis and I are the same age. So, Marco, stop. Okay, I have to go now, and we have to end. So, stay tuned for our Halloween 2 review when we get it all out. And I hope that you comment about seeing his face. You watch the movie, because I'm sure you're going to be able to pick it up somewhere. And because I think they have it on Hulu, for one example. And I'm sure somebody has a streaming service somewhere where they can pick it up.
You could just pirate it too. I mean, it's probably everywhere. I mean, everyone has a copy.
Or
of
yeah, you
Halloween.
could probably get it at the library.
You could get it at Walmart in the dollar bin. It's everywhere.
Or the dollar store, maybe. But anyway, so goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.